Today we're creating a map that was supposed to just be a tavern and swerve to become more of an old-timey cabaret club sort of affair. I wanted this to be a 2-story tavern, and after picking an Inkarnate stamp to emulate, I realized the L shape of the building meant that both floors probably weren't going to fit on one map. Is this an occasion where it will make more sense to have them as 2 separate maps? Maybe, because I am just sort of looking at it, and you can have sort of an L shape here. I think that might be a bit squat. Maybe another L shape here. I mean, not very good L's, but yeah, this might be an occasion where we make 2 separate maps, one for the downstairs and one for the upstairs. Another realization I had soon after would lead me to changing the actual dimensions of the map. That's not perfect. I think this is more symmetrical than we have here, but you know what? That's okay. Sometimes it just do be like that. And that's fine. I mean, that's also, you know what? I never do this. I always use this size map, and I think the problem that I'm having right now is that I'm using a rectangle map for what is clearly a square-based stamp. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start a new map. That's fine, I'm not going to save any of it. I'm going to start a new map, and I'm going to have a square map. And I think that's going to fix a lot of these issues. I mentioned previously where I was like, oh, maybe I actually start to use like different size maps and different size terrains, and I've never broken it out. I've never dared. And today's maybe the day. Today is maybe the day. With the correct map size chosen, as is good practice, instead of wildly diving in, I would plan out the bottom floor. I'm gonna have like a stage here. I've never had a stage before, so I think that could be fun. And then this will be like dining area sort of deal. And then we can put like the bar here. And then like the kitchen can go here. This simple idea to have a stage in this tavern would actually have way more far-reaching consequences than I anticipated, and we'll see this as the map develops. Right from the start, I knew I wanted the stage to be circular, partly because it just felt right, but I also like to ensure there's some curves on maps so everything isn't just perpendicular and parallel lines, which can be a little basic and static. This circular desire made the actual stage a bit more tricky to figure out. What do we think about this as a concept? I don't think that flooring really works. I think the table was kind of the best situation in a lot of ways. Yeah, is that like, does that work as like a stage? And then maybe what we can do, let's get some stairs. Let's see if we can figure this out. Some wooden stairs. Yeah, I don't want the railings on the side. I just want like raw dog stairs. Birchwood stairs, maybe? I don't know if that's working 100%. I don't mind like it coming from the front like this. Okay, yeah, maybe, I mean, we could just do 2 entrances at the side of this circle, and then maybe we can sort of figure out this wraparound. Nah, but the problem with this is that the stairs are going up this way rather than going towards the stage. That's why it's not working. So I think we do need to have them go directly up. I don't mind this. And I know I said I didn't want railings, but I think it actually would look better with railings. So I don't mind this log cabin. I think this is probably a better energy. Yeah, I think this kind of works, to be honest. I'm kind of a fan of this. It's just a little bit of a different design. Just trying something a little bit different. And I like that. To add to the stage's presence, I would chuck a stool and a lute on top. When creating the tables for the tavern, I would lean into the stage design and chuck down a collection of circular tables to match. So yeah, I very much like the idea of having these small tables, like that kind of, I'm trying to get that sort of 1940s cabaret vibe, sort of what I'm thinking of. Like the sort of, I'm thinking of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit is the sort of bar scene that I'm thinking of, but I mean, there's like a million other examples. I guess this is it. Yeah, these like circular tables, people like on dates sort of thing. I guess that's sort of getting the energy across. And then back here, we can have more of a classic tavern-y vibe. The bar itself would get the simple and classic using levers as bar taps and rugs as bar mats routine, which works pretty well. When returning to the rest of the seating, I decided to lean into the club vibe of it all, and instead of having regular long tavern tables as I had planned, we'd place some fancier tables at the back on a slightly raised carpeted area. While doing this, I figured it made sense to just fully commit to the idea of making this a cabaret club and created some VIP booths at the back in their own railed off top section. Okay, yeah, I think I like this. I think I'm a fan of this. I think this is something a little bit different, right? We have like some sort of tiered systems of fanciness. Like we have sort of where most people sit and they face the performer. They're sort of they're closer up. Then we have sort of people a little bit elevated on this sort of railing section with these nicer tables. And then we have these booths at the back where sort of the fanciest of all the fancy sit. When I try to make stuff, I try to think of like what's different, what's fresh, what's new. And, you know, putting down the circular stage and building off that as sort of our like pinpoint for figuring out something fresh and new, I think has been really helpful, because it's like, I've never made a tavern that A, has like a stage, and then B, has sort of this, you know, everyone facing it, but also has this sort of like staggered railing system as well. So it's like, you know, we started with one different element, the stage, and it led to creating like multiple different design experiences, which is really cool, and that's one of the reasons I like just doing something a little bit different and changing it up, because you change up one thing and then you realize, oh, I need to change this other thing, or I could change this other thing, and it really effectively leads to an entirely different construction from what you've done before. And that's sort of how you grow and get better. IMO. To finish off the bottom floor, I'd fill out the kitchen using many of the techniques I'd classically do for kitchens. I'd also place food and drinks on the tables to get the vibe that this place was happening and hip, but also made sure to leave space for the party. Lastly, I added the small connecting outside area that's on the inspiration stamp and made it a storage area, and I was done with this floor, or so I thought. And that can be basically it. Oh, I forgot about the staircase. This is when someone in chat, Clueless Forum, would make a great suggestion. Hidden drop-down staircase. I really like that idea. I don't know if they have something to represent like a hidden staircase. It's a novelty for tourists. Oh, I like that. I think that's a good justification. Yeah. Hey, there we go. There we go. I do talk about like, you know, we create an idea and we put it on the map and then we justify it later. And I think, yeah, like having a hidden staircase that drops down for tourists is an excellent idea. I wasn't exactly sure how to represent this, and after testing a trapdoor and a ladder, I went with a ladder. It wasn't perfect, but you know, it works. Onto floor 2 would be focusing on rooms to rent, as this is also an inn. I think with these bedrooms, we can just do pretty much the basics. You know, our sort of classic strategies of, we'll have a couple different things, say like dressers or cabinets or tables, different types of beds, and we'll do them in different sort of orders and different sort of collections of them. So all the bedrooms are a little bit different. All the bedrooms are a little bit unique, but at the same time, there's like a general level of uniformity that comes to all of them. And I don't think we need to overthink these. They are tavern bedrooms. The main thing that I am doing that I guess would be considered like a little bit different, a little bit more unique, is I'm giving them pretty nice beds. And I think that's just a little bit different from what you have in most taverns, because, you know, this is a nicer place, so they get nicer beds. But apart from that, this is very much going to be like a back to the classics sort of design. I haven't mentioned this yet, but this tavern is being made as part of a Thieves Guild quest where the party need to pickpocket a wealthy individual to prove their skills. So this individual would be staying in one of these rooms, and we'd decorate it accordingly to what was required with the quest. We have made it so the party are stealing an item. So I think we can put the chest in this room, and this is actually the room where old mate Ramini is staying. And then they can steal from that chest when the time comes for them to do some thieving. For narrative reasons, I also decided to not flesh out every room. Like, I think not every room has to be filled. Like, I think it's fine to have like 2 rooms that have like people staying there, and then 2 rooms which are at the moment empty, to signify like, oh, if the party take rooms, then the person could be like, there's a double bedroom and a triple bedroom, and maybe there's 1 or 2 beds spare in this little bunkhouse room. You know, so this sort of gives us reasons why it wouldn't be fleshed out and makes it a little bit more realistic. Could be fun. The last section we had to build was actually based on a suggestion made much earlier in the stream. Should there be a secret gentleman's club on the 2nd floor of the tavern? That is an excellent idea. Yeah, because I think we've made this place a lot fancier and a lot more sort of, you know, speakeasy sort of that kind of 1930s or whatever vibe. And I think, you know, like a room for smoking big old cigars, and maybe there's I don't know if there's a pool table here. I don't think there is, but like that kind of energy of lounges rather than just having rooms, which I was going to have. And that also adds an element. If the party are going to like pickpocket this person, smoker's room on the second floor gives them an excellent opportunity for some naughty charisma based persuasion, deception, thievery type deal. So I really love that as an idea. As I mentioned, this would be awesome because it gave greater optionality to the party for the related quest, but it also architecturally gave the tavern some more variation. When it came to fleshing out this secret society special room, I'd lean on suggestions from chat. Not all suggestions had stamps though, so we'd need to be a bit innovative with our decorating. Wine cabinet, coffee counter, decorative statues, and a couple fruit bowls. You know what? Okay, so what we'll do is the wine cabinet isn't gonna, I know doesn't exist. So we'll make a wine cabinet, right? Let's chuck this down and then let's put wine on top. So we'll have to be like a little bit creative, a little bit inventive with our own wine cabinet. But yeah, because I think those are excellent ideas. So let's chuck some of these bottles on top like that. I then went through doing some touch up and decided against putting lights in every room because in some cases they didn't fit or look that good. You know, the same reason I haven't added lights everywhere, I also haven't added windows in this place. I haven't done that on the first floor as well. It's just like sometimes you're going to include some features, sometimes you're not going to include some features. And it's okay if that's sort of inconsistent with your map making style, or it's even inconsistent with your own map. I think that's okay. And overall, I'm really happy with this map. It is a pretty simple, like 2-floor map in a lot of ways, but there's some like really fun narrative that we've brought out, right? I really love the performativity, and that's so forefronted in the club, faces towards that. And it really is sort of this like higher end sort of cabaret club, this performance club. I think that's awesome. And even though it's really intended for the party just to pickpocket some gold coin, there's more to it than that. We've created more as we've made it, which I always like doing, is just starting to make a map and then making it more in depth, making them more narrative to go with it. So yeah, super happy with this map. And that's the video. If you want access to this map or like 100 other maps and a bunch of quest modules and more, you can check out the Patreon for all of that. And thank you to everyone who has already done so. Join the Twitch to do all this stuff with us live, and subscribe to the channel for more D&D content just like this. Thanks for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye.